Every time I tell myself that I'm screaming from your soul. We'll watch it fall. Now you come to walk on. Come and set your light through. Just set your light through before we're only whispers in the wind. You can turn my world upside down, a rush like I've not felt before. I can trust myself. I need you to make it turn. I know, will you follow me when the sky starts to change? Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again. Will you follow me? We won't leave it to chance. We can't wait our romance. We'll never be the same I could keep the light from turning into darkness. You'd be my escape. What have we been told? Easy to unfold. Future might seem average, but we're getting close. Will you follow me when the sky starts to change? Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again. Will you follow me? We won't leave it to chance. We can't wait our romance. We'll never be the same again. Will you follow me when the sky starts to change? Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again. Will you follow me when the sky starts to change? Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll
With anime in our souls and thoughts of wrestling out of control, we are a group of weebs who love the entertainment of professional wrestling. So allow us to be the voices inside of your head as we go through the wrestling event of the evening, give our thoughts and predictions on what's to come, and provide an experience inclusive to all you nerds out there. So grab a steel chair, yell for the table, and get put through an experience unlike any other. Brought to you, of course, by AniMa W3 Studio. This is the Weebs of the Ring podcast. Happy Friday to all of you. Jordy, I see you right there in the chat. How you doing, buddy? Hopefully you're doing a great time out there. Having a great time. I know I am. It was a really good Friday night when it comes to the Smack Diggity Downs, with the action, with the drama, with all the hullabaloo going on. Because, hey, not only do we have Saturday night's main event to build up to, but we got Survivor Series to build up to. It's going to be a pretty big November come the turn of the month and all that. But of course, as always, we're here to talk about SmackDown. We're here to talk about the wrestling event tonight, which, not gonna lie, folks, was a pretty good show overall. Like, yeah, a couple, lower moments here and there, but like a few things that I'm probably going to be gushing out about. So if you don't like to hear my rants, sorry about your bad luck. You're going to hear some of my rants. But of course, if you're new around these parts, you're seeing all these people that have seen us before and get into their sign seats and all that. You're new around these parts and all that as I repeat my lines and all that. So like quick little introductions to who we are. So as always, I am your reigning, defending, undisputed, universal heavyweight champion of the world. Watkins here. I'm going to be your guide through the event tonight. And of course, I have a lovely gentleman here. He is known around these parts as the genius of the mats. He's going to help us process the stories going forward. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Drop This Box. Drop, how you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good, guys, and like Watkins said, this was a pretty good episode of SmackDown because there's been a lot of reports that's been coming out as of late, and I did speak about it with Watkins before we went on air, where there was discussions about, yes, WWE knows they're making a lot of profit when it comes with them and TKO and everything around that, but they are well aware that they are a little lackluster in the creativity department when it comes to how these shows are, so they're trying to basically fix everything so things can be on track again and hopefully have a happy 2026. Hopefully we can end off the year right. But just looking at that report coming out and looking at all these things that's been happening on these past couple episodes of Raw and SmackDown, I definitely do believe those reports because you can feel that there's change. You can feel that there's things that are a lot different because before, when me, Watkins, and Vash came on here, our shows weren't as long and we didn't really feel like talking about things for too long because there really wasn't any substance there. And when you're watching a weekly television program, you want that substance, you want that thing that really brings you to get invested with the product that you're watching. And looking at how things ended with Raw, we had a good conversation there. Looking at how things were last SmackDown, pretty good. Looking at how things were with this SmackDown, a lot of things that was happening here when it comes to people returning, when it comes to a good SmackDown for 2 weeks in a row. That's why I put as the title of this video, SmackDown Cooks Twice in a Row, because sometimes, SmackDown isn't really there, so you don't really feel that special feeling with it. But there was some very good things on here tonight, and I am excited to get into them because it really makes you stop and think like, okay, this is the beginning. Where are things going to go from point A to point
Mm-hmm.
B? And we're obviously going to get to it, but our Saiyan Prince has returned. Ilja Dragunov, he looks great. He's a lot more buff. He has that nice looking neck tattoo, looks awesome.
I know
But
shit,
he
dude.
wasn't just there for a special showing. Obviously, he became our new US champion. The title fits him perfectly, just knowing the character of Ilja Dragunov. And it's just really nice to see him, and it makes sense to have him on SmackDown because they definitely need the star power there. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's my little introduction. Just very excited to get into things as you can clearly see.
Oh yeah, and don't worry, folks. We'll get into our discussion regarding our Saiyan Prince here in just a little bit. But of course, as always, let us know in the chat, let us know in the comments how first of all, how you doing today. It could be the morning, the evening, the afternoon, whenever you're listening to us. Hopefully, you're having a good day. Just let us know down in the chat or the comments if you're watching the VOD. And be sure to, as always, like the stream because we have many of pets that enjoy their treats. And for every like that this video gets, each pet gets one treat. So if you love pets, if you love dogs, cats, birds, whatever have you, all of those pets get one treat for every like. So be sure to do your due diligence for these lovely animals. So let's just dive right into everything. I'm going to start. I think we're going to start with our WWE title picture because a lot of interesting things happened regarding this, especially when it came to some reports that came out this week regarding mainly Jacob Fatu and his health going forward. So Cody started the night, gave a short little promo, kind of just acknowledging the fact that hey, he lost on Saturday and everything. So he's just like he's just trying to look forward. He's gonna just focus on himself, focus on his own business while Seth Seth deals with his shit on Monday and all that. So have fun with that, everybody. But yeah, so we got to find a new number one contender, and it looks like this match between Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre is still set for tonight. It's still a go. But as we see when we get closer to that main event, that's not really the case because of the reports coming out of this undisclosed injury that's going to keep Jacob Fatu out for a long time. So apparently it might have been Drew, it might have been somebody else. We don't know yet. When it comes to that time with the story, hey, we'll dive that down that road when we cross it. So Drew comes out, he's just like, hey, just announce me the winner. Okay, Jacob can't obviously do anything. So, because that's the case, just give me my match with Cody for the title and we'll be all hunky dory. And even though Nick Aldis tries to stop this, he's not enough. Cody has to come out there and he is just a ball of energy and just anger. Like he's done with Drew's shit. He's just he gives him what he wants, basically, is a match that night. And as much as I say match, it really wasn't a match. This was a fight. And I mean, it gets thrown out anyways because Cody uses the title on Drew to get a DQ and all that. And he basically just beats him up at the end of it, even with security and all that, trying to stop Cody. Cody's still able to get one over on Drew by just absolutely just destroying him. But this was a good segment. This was a good moment for Cody because I know a lot of people may be tired of the whole babyface shtick when it comes to Cody. They want a little edge in their character nowadays. That's why like we always gravitate towards these heels and like Dom, Seth to a point too, because technically he is a heel, but he's cool, so we're still gonna follow him, so like him and all that. So getting this edge with Cody is going to be really good, especially with his program that he's going to go down with Drew, which hopefully now we can actually do what we should have done back at for WrestlePalooza, give him some mic time, give him some time to like actually like talk to each other, like really dig into one another and like see what they can do beyond that and everything. So Drop, I'm going to bring it off to you. How did you feel about this segment? How we're setting up this Cody versus Drew feud? And I'm not going to lie, I got a little hint of Codelander tonight.
Yeah.
Do you think this might be leading towards that ultimate, like, I'm not going to say a full-on heel turn, but I mean, the seeds are at least being planted of just a Cody that's just pretty much just done with everybody's shit. Like,
So, yeah, I can definitely feel that because the thing about Cody Rhodes is obviously, I'm a big fan of him. I really appreciate everything that he does. But Cody definitely needs some edge when it comes to presenting himself to whoever he's going up against. Like, obviously, whatever your opponent's doing, if he's giving you a lot of shit and he's really, like, throwing you, like, far down that hill, you got to get up and you got to, like, fire back hard. And Drew McIntyre, likes to basically get underneath people's skin. He really likes to just get them all wild up. So Cody Rhodes really needed this approach when he came out towards the end of the show. He went after Drew McIntyre. They had that little brawl, which honestly I can really say that's basically what the match was. They were brawling, they were fighting and everything. Yeah. Cody got really aggressive. He hit him with his title, And I'm all for having Cody Rhodes, like, have more edge to him. Because, yes, he could potentially become a heel in the near future. I know it's something that he said that he. I'm not entirely sure how he feels about it, but I do know that he did speak
Mhm.
before in the past. He really likes where he's at, which I can't blame him because obviously, WWE wants to use that to their full advantage. When you have like a super hot babyface like Cody Rhodes, they want to make sure not to let that go because that's where a lot of people gravitate towards when it comes to the men, the women, the kids, especially. That's pretty much their John Cena now. So it's like I can understand them not wanting to pull the trigger with that. And I don't really think they need to. I think at least if he has more of a backbone when it comes to things, I feel like that's something that you could have with his character moving forward because he definitely needs to pull out that side of him when the time is right. And obviously, you need this with him and Drew McIntyre. And honestly, one of the things I really want to see out of this, because I was disappointed with their match at WrestlePalooza, because you look at Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre on paper, that's the kind of feud that would make them a lot of money, that would, obviously sell very well when it comes to looking at the card of a PLE. So it's like, when you look at it, it's like, okay, this should be built a lot better. These guys are both very good in the ring and everything. I thought what they did before was a little lackluster because Cody wasn't there. I understand the circumstances with the movie and the kid and everything, but I feel like now that he's back and he's got to bounce back somehow, especially with that loss from Seth and everything, I feel like, having him and Drew actually starting off a program, I'm hoping they give it a little more leeway because I don't really think I want to see it at the Saturday night's main event. I feel like, Punk's advertised in the poster. Just have Punk hold that main event spot. You don't really need all the world titles on there. I am perfectly okay waiting a little bit so this can marinate and actually be a proper feud between Cody and Drew McIntyre. Like, I feel like there's a lot of legs to this feud, especially their history in the indies, how they had to leave and come back, their history as tag partners, everything like that. Like, obviously these two guys know each other. They didn't just meet for the first time. So it's like, dive into that. And if you want me and Watkins to believe these reports about you wanting to make more enticing storylines heading into 2026, that's exactly what you do. You don't look at Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre and give us a lackluster build. Those are two really great people to have on SmackDown. Do not give them, any lackluster stuff. Like, that's what I'm hoping at the very least. I like how things started tonight, having Cody with that edge. And I'm really hoping with the second time, because me and you even said before that this shouldn't be the first, like a one-off between the both of them. It should definitely be more proper in terms of like actually caring about what's going on between the both of them. So I'm just hoping we're on a steady path moving forward. I don't want this at Saturday night's main event. I'm just gonna say that again. It definitely needs
Yeah.
a little more.
Yeah. So like with Saturday night's main event, I know that's like a couple weeks away, so we might be safe from that. At
Yeah,
least it all depends on what they're gonna do with the world title too. Like
yeah,
with CM Punk over
that's true.
there being number one contender and all that. So yeah, and plus, who knows what they're doing with war games right now? Because that's even a whole other conversation. Just off of tonight, just kind of looking at it too. I mean, I could see like multiple angles going into like a war games match. Like that's the thing. See, that's one thing. Actually, you know what? No, I'll save that comment for later when we talk about like tag teams and all that stuff going on, that like the whole big section that we got in SmackDown. Like, let's be honest, that part was like the whole show. But when it comes to like Drew and Cody, I do agree with you. Like, let this kind of marinate a little. This, cook a little. All that, like these two have that history. They have the similar paths that they went down. Let them dig into that. Let them like actually like talk to each other a little bit more. And yeah, the physicality will be there. Obviously, we saw it tonight. But yeah, I really want them to just kind of lay it in on each other before getting into the match. And I don't know about you. How would you feel about this getting like a stipulation now? I know, like, especially if this is at War Games, that'll be like just another stipulation on an already stip heavy event and all that. But I mean, they could always do something. I mean, I know we just saw one, but they could do a last man standing match. They could always do just like a singles cage match or something, since they'll already have cages up there or something. I like they could do anything with this feud and with the title match at Survivor Series. So yeah, I mean, do you see this match getting a stipulation?
I would like it to get a stipulation. I just feel like,
Mhm.
you got Cody getting a little edgy now, actually taking advantage of the situation. I mean, when do you ever see Cody Rhodes just grab a WWE title and use it as a weapon? So the fact
Yeah,
that he has that mindset right now, I feel like he should run with it. And we already know how Drew McIntyre is. And I just feel like the kind of feud that this can become, if we do indeed wait until Survivor Series, I feel like it should get a stipulation. It doesn't hurt. You don't always have to do singles matches all the time. Like
yeah,
if you want to do a singles match every so often when the time is right, that's fine. I just feel like it would work out a lot better between these two because the way you look how it started off initially, like Drew McIntyre hit him with that claymore or whatever it was when he was like near that announce
hmm
table. So it's like if he's being that aggressive with Cody, like when they had their first match and everything, I feel like there's going to be levels of aggression to this, especially with what we saw with Cody tonight. So I would like a stipulation. I feel like he would make the match. Not saying the match wouldn't be good on paper without the stipulation, but I just feel like it would make a lot more sense if it heads
yeah.
down the direction I want it to go down.
Yeah, it really would. And even if it's just something simple like, oh, extreme rules match, blah blah blah, like even that would work between the two
Oh
guys.
yeah,
So now with Cody and all that, like the reason I kind of brought up the Codelander thing and all that is mainly, it wasn't just the title shot, which, some people could there could be a spin, especially if you're like the color commentator slash heel commentator. They could always be like, oh, Cody was desperate. He didn't want to beat up Drew more. He just wanted to get disqualified, blah, 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 and all that. So, like, that could be like a heel tactic right there. But, like, one thing I wanted to bring up is one thing that, and I believe it was Vic Joseph said this to Corey Graves, which I was so happy Vic Joseph was on my screen. That was great. He's a fantastic commentator, and him and Corey Graves make a really great team. And also, Corey Graves is back too. So he's back from, I believe, him and Carmella had their second kid. So
yeah,
again, congratulations to them. And good thing that you healed from those F5s that you took from Brock Lesnar and all that. But they had mentioned Cody's eyes. Like Vic was telling Corey, "Hey, did you look at his eyes? Have you ever seen Cody look like that?" And Corey was shocked. Like he had never seen Cody that pissed, I guess, or that angry, even though all that stuff was going on with Kevin Owens in the beginning of the year.
yeah.
Like, even though that stuff was going on, they never really mentioned much about Cody's eyes or just like the look on his face. And this was just like again, it was a more fierce Cody. It was just a Cody that was just done with all this stuff. And I mean, I don't blame him on one hand because Drew's kind of poking the bear right there. But yeah, he's mad and he's taking it to Drew. And I mean, he's probably gonna finish it off this coming Survivor Series. So and I agree too. This should be on Survivor Series, not Saturday Night's Main Event. Like they they've got enough stuff going on for Saturday Night's Main Event. Let them cook with that show. Let them build up some of the Raw stuff. Hell, maybe put like a tag team title match on there, or like a women's U.S. title match or something. Do something with those titles for Saturday Night's Main Event. Like that's something with them. Do it.
Yeah, that
Do it, you kids.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if we did something like that, honestly. Give
Yeah.
especially since they're pushing that title a little bit more with Charlotte and Alexa. I feel like
hmm
that wouldn't be a bad thing at all because I mean, when's the last time we got that? Like WrestleMania or something? So it's like
Yeah.
that would be nice to see whenever we get there, but definitely
Yeah.
hoping that things go down the proper direction when it comes to Cody and Drew's feud at Survivor Series. Hopefully we get a stipulation because I mean they got a hella time to really build to that towards the end of
hmm
November. So I'm really looking forward to see what comes out of that, if that is indeed in the cards.
Yeah. And part of me's sitting here thinking, because like most of what happened tonight with its main event was the fact that Jacob Fatu was injured and all that, and
Yeah.
he was taken out. Like the dude was bloody. Like he was missing some teeth too. Like some of those props, it looked like prop teeth, obviously, but like with with like the pool of blood and all that.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting here thinking, I'm like, okay, the way the rest of tonight went down, I'm wondering if Drew was gonna go over tonight. And and again, it didn't have to be like, oh, Jacob got pinned or submitted or anything, but maybe some sort of DQ or count out would have happened. I don't know. Something would have happened where Jacob wouldn't have won. I don't I want to say whether that was like MFT involvement too, because Solo could always intercept there. And if War Games is going where it might be going, a certain team might need another guy on their hands. Why not just be like, "Hey, Jacob Fatu, you want to beat up your brothers and cousins and all that?" So,
Mm.
but we'll dive into that later on. So, yeah, I'm just wondering, like, was Drew always supposed to go over here?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering too, because it's like when it comes to the match itself, like I honestly would be happy if either one winning, like Drew McIntyre and Cody would be nice to see again properly. And then Jacob,
Hmm.
Fatu, and Cody, we haven't really seen outside of a dark match in a Monday Night Raw last year, but I don't really count that because it's like not
Yeah.
canon on TV. But it's like I wouldn't be against that either because I feel like both guys deserve to be in that position. But yeah, it kind of makes me think too, what was Drew really supposed to go over here, considering what was going
Hmm.
on? But I was also wondering or watching this because we saw Jacob Fatu on the show. I thought initially when Nick Aldis was on the show, he was gonna say something in the beginning about Jacob Fatu, considering the reports that came out, but
Yep.
he was still involved in the show and everything. And that could very well just be, you know, segments that was taped backstage. Maybe he's probably at home doing something right now because they tend to do that. I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up taping
Hmm.
stuff for next week too. But it's like
Yeah.
when it comes to what we saw here, um he did have like I did actually see something when you were talking about the
Hmm.
status of what's been going on with Jacob Fatu, and it was from Corey, which, you know, shout out to him, he gives out a lot of good reports. But
Yeah.
he did say, like, based on how you saw Jacob Fatu get taken off on the show tonight, that should show you why he was taken off, because
Hmm.
according to what I'm seeing on the replies of what he's talking about, there's a health issue when it comes to
Yeah.
Jacob Fatu. Apparently, he needs to get his teeth redone.
Ooh.
So I would assume, obviously, he's gonna have to, you know, get that taken care of, be out for a couple months or so, or whatever. I don't really know
Yeah.
the status. I'm not a doctor, but you know, whatever, you know, goes on with that. Um, if I feel like I feel like that probably I feel like that probably makes sense, like why
Hmm.
Drew might have maybe it was what do you call it, what's the word I'm looking for, it was something they did. I remember it's the same thing they did with LA Knight when he faced Seth, like an audible. Maybe it was an audible because of a
Oh
current health
yeah.
condition or whatever. But
Yeah, that's always the case too. But then like then I go back and I'm thinking, okay, well, would they would
like is
they
it,
have Cody go over Jacob Fatu then in that
yeah,
title match?
yeah,
You know, and I'm just kind of sitting here thinking like the way that Jacob's been built up, I I don't know how I would take a clean win from Cody against Jacob. It would take a lot for Cody to beat Jacob. So I don't know how I would actually take that victory from him.
yeah,
It would all depend on how that would have played out, but obviously,
yeah,
we're not getting that, which again is fine. Like
yeah,
the way they handled everything tonight, dealing with like Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre going forward and all that, I thought it was done really well and a good way to just kind of not only write off Jacob Fatu for a bit, but a way that's very believable because like yeah he would want to fight and all that because he's somebody that will keep going no matter what happens, but now there's a medical reason that he's not going to be able to go face off against Drew because like again props to their prop team and all that with like the pool of blood that was right down there. You could see like little bits of teeth, it looked like too. So it's like, okay, something is more wrong than just, oh, you got put through a table or something, you know? So like,
Ooh.
yeah, this was actually just, it was just good, really. It was just good writing here in this segment and just a good way to just kind of push everything forward as we make our way to this title defense and all that, which again we're assuming is going to be happening at
Yeah.
Survivor Series. So
So I just
yeah.
looked up the recovery time. Like, if this is to be true about, the health condition, which I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure will get reported on and eventually find out what it is. It says it takes 6 to 12 months for like recovery with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Ugh. Hopefully not 12 months.
Yeah.
I
I
would
wondered
rather
I,
not have to wait.
I wonder if it has to do with the grills he has in his mouth.
It might. It might. Shit, it might. Yeah, like seriously, life. You're gonna make me wait another year for another of my favorites to come back. Like I already had to deal with one being gone for a whole year. Fine, just make me wait for the other one. I guess. I hate you guys. I hate you. I hate you up there, wrestling gods, taking away my favorites. You take away Kevin Owens. You take away Ilya Dragunov. Now you're taking away Jacob Fatu. At least one of them came back, so thank you
Actually,
for that. But man,
you know what
it's gonna suck while
you,
he's
you
gone.
know what I was just thinking just now. So you know how I
Mm,
was talking about how the way he got written off?
yeah.
Uh, we haven't seen a certain person as of recent. And then if Drew is to be believed to be not in control of that, because I could actually believe that, because
Hmm.
Drew's very upfront about a lot of the things that he does. Like, he's not afraid to say it as it is. Like when he was doing stuff to Punk or whatever it is, he brags about it. That's his whole stick. It
Oh
doesn't
yeah.
really seem like Drew McIntyre to be like, oh, I didn't do that. That's just not Drew McIntyre. What if it was Randy Orton? What if he punt kicked Jacob Fatu back there? Because we haven't seen Randy in a while.
Hmm. Yeah. What would be the motivation though? Like,
The only thing I can really think
oh,
of is
hmm.
maybe he's upset that all these other people are getting opportunities and he's not really getting the opportunity that he needs. Like all those
Yeah.
losses he's getting, and then you have these other people trying to gut for the title, and he eventually wants to, get a shot at that title because all the things that he's been doing for Cody. Maybe this is his way of venting frustration because of that. That's what I can think of.
Yeah.
Because that is
And I mean,
narrative people do
mhm,
bring up. Like, he eventually has to bring up all the losses, not getting ahead since he came back, feeling like a background character and everything. It kind of feels like something Randy would do, where he's like really just, I don't give
yeah.
a fuck. Because ever since
Yeah.
that thing he did with Cody, we haven't seen him since.
No, no, not since. Yeah, yeah, and like I kind of sit here thinking, thinking about the Randy pitch right there, and I mean, if WWE was nuanced enough, they could really spin this in a really cool way, where it's like Randy, he attacked Jacob Fatu, but like the reason not only just like, oh, the frustration, obviously, like you were talking about, but the other part it could be, he's hell bent on being the one to take the title off of Cody.
Yeah.
Like John already beat him to it,
Yeah.
but he's not going to wait any longer. He tried the thing with John and all that to get it from him. Okay, he failed there. Now it's back on Cody. Okay, now I'm getting back to this, and it's kind of one of those things where it's just like, okay, I need to be a little bit more proactive with all this. Oh, this guy's getting a possible like this guy's getting put into a number one contenders match. All right, bet I'm taking him out because that's the other thing. If Jacob Fatu beat Drew and then went on to beat Cody and became the world champion, then Randy would have to go through Jacob Fatu. So it's
Yep.
like, okay, let me take him out. Like, let me take out the biggest threat to all of this
Yeah.
now,
Yeah. Because
because
he
like,
really
yeah,
is.
because I can kind of get into not Cody. I can get into Randy's mindset with all that. Like, okay, Jacob's the main threat here. Drew, I can probably deal with Drew and all that, but I would rather him not take it from Cody. But I'm sure Cody can beat Drew. But like Cody, Randy's probably thinking, I know how to beat Cody. Like, even though he lost to him, at King of the Ring or whatever, but like that was mainly because Randy still held himself back. So like yeah, if WWE were nuanced enough, which I'm really hoping they are with what you just said earlier about them possibly doing like more just better stories overall going into 2026, like yeah, that could be something really good that they can tell. And man, that is such a good way to kind of spin like a WrestleMania main event too.
Yeah,
Like
definitely around the
mm,
time period too, like around November. That's when they start really like digging deep into that kind of stuff.
yeah, because like they usually like to tease around August, and then yeah, around like this October, November time, we're like, okay, kind of starting to
Actually,
see the path here
y'all,
towards WrestleMania.
yeah,
You're either here for it or you're not, all that stuff.
you also brought up a good idea too, knowing how we want this match to be a stipulation. That gives.
Hey, hey, hey! Hello?
Everything all right?
Sorry about that, folks.
No, it's all right. Is everything all right?
Yeah, I think so. The dogs just started barking and headed towards the door. Give me 1 second. I'm going to check on this.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so like I was saying, guys, that actually brings up a good idea when me and Watkins were talking about what was going on with the whole stipulation idea that we were talking about. If we throw that Randy Orton idea in there, that gives Randy Orton all the freedom in the world to do what he wants. If there's a match that has a stipulation where Cody and Drew can do whatever they want, and then they decide to go after, and then Randy decides to go after Cody and do whatever he wants to, I mean, hey, that gives him, it gives him all the freedom in the world. I don't necessarily think he's going to cost him the title because, I mean, the money match is Cody and Randy. The history is there and everything. But he could easily come out afterwards or, do whatever he needs to. Actually, that that kind of defeats the purpose because he could do that afterwards. But basically, it's like they could have a match. Cody, fights to hell because of the kind of match at the end, and then Randy can come over there and just pick up the scraps or just do whatever he wants from Cody to really send a message heading into 2026. Because then you could either have Randy win the Royal Rumble, you could have Randy win the Elimination Chamber, whatever it is, if he wants to get to Cody, if that is indeed the match. Because we don't know for sure what Cody's plans are for WrestleMania next year, because with Seth Rollins being out, there's definitely a lot of changes currently going on with that. So there's definitely a lot of things that need to be discussed behind the scenes when it comes to that sort of thing. But it's definitely something to keep an eye on, like as we get closer, because I mean, Randy's being kept off TV for a reason. So it's like if he was relevant, he would either be having matches of other people, he would be having segments with Cody Rhodes, but I feel like they're keeping him off TV for a reason. Otherwise, he would be there. So it makes you question, are they going to factor Randy Orton into this thing, either in the build itself if he makes a return, or he makes a return when they have their match at Survivor Series for the WWE title, whatever the case may be. That's definitely something to point out between both of these guys. But like me and Watkins discussed, we both thought that this was a very good way to really start off the build between Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre when it comes to their feud, if this does end up going to Survivor Series. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what's going to be happening with that once we move forward. And hopefully Jacob Fatu recovers well. Hopefully everything is going to be okay in his end, whatever that health issue may be that's being reported. Hopefully everything's okay, because it is going to feel a little weird. I will say that it is going to feel a little weird not having Jacob Fatu on the TV screen, because it's like he just came back and then all of a sudden, he's got to go for a health issue, which again, things happen. So it's like you need to be understanding when it comes to situations like that, because they are real people at the end of the day. Things like this does happen between the both of them. But now we're gonna actually, oh, here we are.
Oh, yeah.
Um
Sorry about that.
no,
Not
it's all
sure
right.
what that was.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
But I basically just gave a quick little rundown before we move on to our own segment, basically saying that, Randy also has been off TV, so either they put him in the place of this build or he returns towards
Mhm.
the end of it, possibly after the match, because I don't think him getting himself involved in the match makes sense if he wants that title from Cody specifically. But it
Yeah.
does give him a reason if Cody's really beat up, depending on the stipulation of the match, where he can just go there and do whatever the hell he wants and actually
Mhm.
hit that punk kick and everything. Because I mean, if he is the one to do that to Jacob Fatu, does align right, because that is how the move is executed, and getting blood coming from the mouth would be that, because you're pretty much like caving somebody in with your foot. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So whatever happens, happens.
Yep.
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, I guess. Let's go ahead and move on now to our mid card stories. I think this first one's kind of probably be a quick conversation,
Definitely 100%.
like because of what happened. So our women's world tag team titles were put on the line as Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss were to take on Zaria and Sol Ruca. And hey, look, there's Blake Monroe right there, front and center in the crowd watching the match. Gee, I wonder if she'll have anything to do with the finish of this match. Curious. Huh. Wonder how this is going to go. Anyways, the match itself, I mean, it was fine. I feel like this was more of just a way to kind of showcase Zarya and Sol Ruca just a little bit more on the main roster, but really it's just paint by numbers WWE tag team shenanigans here. Um, Charlotte and Alexa do end up picking up the win, and I think this is my big complaint here with this match, because like the match itself was fine. There was a few stumbling blocks here and there, a few just like, all right, we got to get to this part for this spot and this move and all that. Like that, you could kind of tell a lot of the rehearsing that went with this match, but the biggest thing I have towards it though is the fact that Sol Ruca was right there. She had everything won. She had all the time in the world. And then like Blake Monroe's just out there in the front. She's just cheering everybody on, not doing anything, like not even saying anything bad. It looked like she was just cheering and all that. So it's like, all right, well, cool, fine, whatever. But like Sol Ruca then just gets distracted right there, and they try to play it off like, oh, well, she's the inexperienced one, blah blah blah. But I don't know. It kind of took me out of it a little bit. Like it would have been one thing if like Blake Monroe was shouting horrible things towards Sol Ruca, but and yeah, you could kind of chalk it up to her just kind of being a bitch in this aspect of like celebrating that they're on top and all that. That's fine. I think it was just the timing with it where like it took so long for Sol Ruca to just walk over there
Yeah.
and be like, "Hey, um yeah, not cool with you being here." So I think that might have been just part of it, but Charlotte's able to get her back into the ring, hooks on the figure eight, and Sol Ruca taps. That's the end of the match and all that. I don't know. Again, I thought it was an okay match. I want Charlotte and Alexa to defend a little bit more and to
Yeah.
kind of be on screen a little bit more, because I'm having trouble believing that they're a tag team, let alone the tag team champions.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I also feel indifferent about this match. I will say I was interested in it initially going in,
Mhm.
because I know how good Sol Ruca and Zarya are together, just like Charlotte and Alexa Bliss. But the way that the execution was tonight, like they had a few good moments here and there. Like whenever Sol Ruca obviously hits her finisher on
Hmm.
people. It just comes out of nowhere, so that's like always a great thing to see when it comes to that. I don't know why her finisher slipped my mind the name of it, but it's
Oh, the
like
Soul Snatcher.
yeah, the Soul Snatcher, yes. But
Yeah.
but it's like other than that though, like the Blake Monroe thing, like yes, they're building to a feud between the both of them for the NXT North American Championship and everything, so obviously it makes sense for her to be there. But the whole like interaction kind of felt awkward the way that it was presented, where they kind of made it obvious that Blake Monroe was there to begin with because they were
Hmm.
showing her on the Titantron and everything. So you would think that Soul would probably know that she was out there, but the way that she looked at it, it's like, oh wait, you're here. I didn't realize that. So that kind of took me out of it. I
Yeah.
don't know if that's what they were going for, where she first notices her there or something, but it's like they made it plain as day that she was there. Typically, when they do things like that, they don't show people on the Titantron. They usually show it like whenever the match is going on, and then you see that person in the crowd and everything like that. Like they don't make it like that obvious. But yeah, I will
Hmm.
agree that was something that did feel a little awkward and everything. And I also would like to see more with Charlotte and Alexa Bliss when it comes to these titles, because the way that they were building the story and everything with them coming together and winning the titles, that was very nice. That was like the whole sweet cherry on top, the execution of that story, finally bringing them together, finally looking at each other as friends. But we need to see a little bit more of them outside of like segments in the back where they're just, talking, trying to progress the story that way. Like I would love to see more matches between the two, because outside of like Zarya and Sol Ruca, obviously this was just a test because they're upcoming. These girls have been
Hmm.
in the WWE for a couple years now when it comes to Charlotte and Alexa, so they're the veterans of the entire thing. But it's like outside of this, they're obviously not going to be doing business next week because Sol has Blake to focus on moving forward whenever Halloween Havoc happens next weekend. So Charlotte and Alexa really need to figure out exactly what they're doing, because I mean I can't really tell you who's really going to be targeting her. I don't
Yeah.
really know. Like there's nobody that pops up. Like I can't really say what Julia shouldn't, obviously, since she's US champion. Her Kiana's already starting shit with Tiffany that we'll talk about later. So that doesn't make
Yeah.
sense just because they're involved with whatever's going on there, which we'll eventually get to that because I have some questions for that too. But it's like I don't really know like who their target is really, like, and I don't know if I necessarily want to see Michin and see I'm blanking names. I don't even know if I want to see
Um.
that. Like I want to see something
Yeah. BFAB.
engaging. Yeah, BFAB. I want to see something engaging, like something that you know what, like they're bringing more people on SmackDown like they did with Ilya, which trust me, guys, that's gonna be a fun segment we get into. Bring some people from NXT that aren't doing anything that can captivate the audience. Maybe they can do something with
Hmm.
them, or maybe somebody that I'm not thinking of the top of my head that's been out for a bit. Maybe bring them back if they're ready to come. I don't know. It's just it's just really hard to tell how they structure things sometimes. Like I don't really have much to say
Yeah.
outside of that. I'm just running in
Yeah.
circles at this point.
That's pretty much it. I mean, just Charlotte and Lex are kind of spinning their wheels right now. There's not really a good feud going forward. I mean, unless they do something on Raw, which that's the one show they really haven't been on since winning the tag team titles. Like I think the last time they were on there, I think was during the build for Evolution. So it's just like, okay, well, what are we doing then when these are floating titles? You guys are doing stuff with NXT, you're doing stuff with SmackDown. What about Raw? And I mean, even when you look at the Raw side, I mean, there's not too many women's tag teams over there. Like, there's the Kabuki Warriors. I mean, there's Io and Rhea, but they're not really like an official tag team. They're just kind of like going against the Kabuki Warriors because, hey, we don't like them and all that. And then there's freaking Natalia and Maxine, but Maxine's kind of busy right now dealing with Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, where do we go? What do we do? Who's going to be the team to actually take the titles off of them? Like, it's probably not going to be the Secret Service because they've
No.
already done the feud with them.
Yeah, several times too.
Yeah, like unless they're waiting for Piper Niven to come back,
Yeah,
but
which we don't even know how long that's gonna be because I heard her injury's pretty up there.
mhm. Hell, like the one report I saw about her injury, they'd be surprised if she did come back because I think it was like a neck injury
Yeah.
from what I heard. So, and we know how neck injuries go, but never say never in wrestling too. But oh, no, no, let's get into it. Let's stop dancing around it. Let's talk about this U.S. title open challenge that almost didn't happen. Fun fact, everybody, because Nick Aldis was originally going to cancel it because of this whole MFT stuff going on, and he was going to try to give it to Shinsuke Nakamura since his opportunity got squandered because of the MFTs just getting involved. And all the meanwhile, too, like he was talking to the Miz, and it sounds like they were coming up with a plan. But what that plan is, I really don't know. I don't. I
Yeah.
don't. We'll probably find out later when we're older what that was all about. But yeah, so of course Sammy comes in there, and he's just wearing his heart as on his sleeve, being the emotional guy that he is, and just says, "Hey, you know what? No, I vowed to do this open challenge. We're gonna do this open challenge. I'm going to that ring, and somebody's gonna answer the open challenge." And at first, we think it's gonna be the Miz, but of course, he comes out there, tries to cut the promo, and Carmelo Hayes attacks him. So we're continuing that story going forward right there, assuming we're gonna get the blow off match. Hopefully soon. I mean, fudge it, put it on Saturday night's main event. I don't care. Just get it done and over with. So that way it's just again done and over with. So that's done. That's fine. So who is going to be Sammy's opponent tonight? And none other than a beefed up, new knee having, new gear having too, with like the wristbands and all that. Our Saiyan Prince has returned. Ilya Dragunov answers the challenge. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, ignorant children of the Isles, when you're watching something that is a match of the year contender, you sit there thinking, "Oh my god, I'm watching a match of the year contender right here." This was phenomenal from the get-go too, cuz these guys were laying on the strikes on each other. Like I haven't seen Sammy hit somebody that hard since I mean, probably Kevin Owens, but like even this earlier this year, like he wasn't hitting Kevin that hard. Like these guys were going to war, and this is what I love about Ilya Dragunov. Like he goes to war in every single match he's in, and God, Godspeed to whoever faces him in the ring, because like I'm sure he's very frustrating with how hard some of his strikes are. But like, man, these two went at it, especially during, dude. So I was watching the VPN and like through the VPN and all that. And so, obviously you get to see a little bit more of the match and all that. But during the commercial break, they showed the highlights of it when they got back from commercial break. But just seeing Sammy go to the ring, just like club Ilya Dragunov on the like with his foot just straight on his face. I was like, dang, this is a whole different Sammy. And then like they're just like going at each other. Like, dude, it was great. It was phenomenal. Like you see this match on paper and you're just like, oh, this is gonna be great. Whatever your expectation is, it either met it or surpassed it. And I'm just at a loss for words. This was a really good match, especially like on a weekly programming. But like there could be an argument made for this being match of the year, especially when it comes to like the WWE sphere. Like this was really, really good. Like some of the near falls too, like just even just from the basic moves. Like there were some times where I almost thought it was going to be a 3 just from a random power bomb or something. Like, God, it was good. And again, like Ilya looks great, man. Like he definitely like beefed up his upper body a little bit. He's got the brace on his knee. Man, just the whole presentation too, and the pop. He got a pop too.
Hmm.
Like I know that's crazy to say, but like it's one of those things because it's like you have these work rate people on your roster, and
Yeah.
sometimes they don't even get a good pop. Like, I mean, look at DIY sometimes. Sometimes they don't even get a good pop until like the match is almost over when they've already won everybody over.
Yeah.
But man, it's just man, this was just fun. Like this is exactly what you need in your weekly pro wrestling uh shows and all that. But I've rambled long enough, and no, I didn't even get to the kicker. Ilya won. He won the U.S. title. Like, he won the open challenge. That that was so good. Now, how he won, I mean, a little bit of chicanery here and there, but we'll get into that after we talk about the match. But Drop, what do you think of the match? Like, I've gushed long enough because God, oh my God, this was so freaking good, man. I felt good.
Yeah, this was probably like the thing that stood out to me the most on SmackDown tonight. Like, yes, we had a big discussion earlier talking about the stuff going on with Cody and Drew. Time codes are there just in case you guys want to check out the conversation. They're tuning later. But this was the highlight for me. I'm not going to lie here. I did see things online talking about us getting a big return. I did know who it was, but still, I was excited to see him there in the flesh because even though you sometimes know something's going on, yes, it's good to be going in blind and figuring out yourself, but sometimes you still get that feeling because you haven't seen this person for so long, so you're wondering what they look like. Did they bulk up? Do they have any new tattoos on their body? Do they have a different hairstyle? Whatever it is, we haven't seen this guy since, you know, the injury and everything, so we were very curious to see what was going on with him, and he looks in good shape. He's wearing his neck brace, his not neck brace, his leg brace that he had on. He has a new neck tattoo. He looks like very bulky, and I don't know, to me kind of looked like he actually gained a few inches height-wise too that I noticed. So it's like he looks in the best shape of his life right now. So I was very excited to see him, and he's another person that they desperately need on SmackDown when it comes to people that they can have for star power. And that title that he won against Sammy, I mean, Sammy in that match he had, it was like 20 minutes long according to Cage Match. It has like a 9.27 right now for its rating on there, and I believe it. I mean, that was a great match. Those guys were hitting hard, and Sami Zayn probably knows from experience, just based on who this guy is, that he needs to hit hard if he wants to take him down, because you can throw every move in the book towards Ilja Dragunov and he's still going to get up every single time. And I was just really happy to see him come back, get that good moment from the crowd, have a great match with Sammy that I will agree is a match of the year contender 100%, and not just come back and just be like, oh yeah, I'm back, and then end up losing. Like, he won the match and he's a new US champion. The title looks good on him. I could easily see him continuing that whole thing with the US title open challenge, and that's one person like Gunther that I will say, because him and Gunther are very similar in a lot of ways. Not only are they great wrestlers, not only are they great champions, but they just have like that aura to them where it's like when you see them with that title, you can take them seriously as a champion, and you know they're a force to be reckoned with. And I have a feeling that what Gunther did with the IC title to make it relevant again and make it feel special, I feel like Ilja Dragunov can do the same thing 100%. I feel like he could do it. They desperately need it. This is his first title on the main roster as well, so that gets me really excited to see where things are going to be heading with that. And yeah, it was just a great moment as a whole. He's definitely going to be on this thumbnail a little bit later once I update it, but it's like I'm just really glad that he's back. It was desperately needed, and like I said, I'm really liking all of these changes that they're making, because SmackDown is lacking a little bit in star power in terms of like other, you know, key players on there outside of the people that we know. But this is one of the best things you can do. You can have him become the US champion, have a great run with it, eventually elevate him to the point where he goes after a main title. Like, this is something that you definitely need.
Yeah.
I love
I mean,
this.
just it was just really good, man. And again, like the pop he got too coming out, because again, sometimes with these work rate people, they don't get anything and all that.
No.
I was just really happy he got a pop, man. Like that just it warmed my heart just hearing people cheering, like cheering loudly for him too, and him just coming out being like, yeah, I'm here to kill. And oh boy, I like the one moment when they're both just on the mat and he just like slaps Sammy, and then he just yells at me, just like, punch me. I'm like, oh dude, yes,
Yeah.
give me this energy, this chaotic energy. Like he like we call him the Saiyan Prince and all that, but like in a way, he's kind of like Kid Buu, only he can talk. It's just like, hit me, I can take it, I'm stronger than I look, like I'm going to destroy you. Like, man, no, I don't want to keep gushing because like I could be here for a long time just
Yeah.
gushing about this. Like, God, the guy is so good. Like his selling mainly, like the way this man sells, like that DDT that Sammy hit, and then he just like crawls to the corner and all that. Like that sell was so good. And then just like just out of sheer adrenaline, just running to stop Sammy from hitting the haluva kick with his own boot. Oh my god. Oh, this is good, man. Like more matches like this, please. Like people like learn from this. Learn from these two guys who can sell their ass off. But yeah, they were just like hitting each other. Like there was a point too, you could see just like the red welts just like forming on Ilya Dragunov like during the match and all that. Man, just it's really good. And he's US champion now. Man, I love to see it. It looks good on him already. Just have a great dominant reign, Ilya Dragunov. I approve heavily of this. But there was a little footnote with him winning, and that's because Solo Sikoa and the MFTs. Like, I was watching this match, and I'm like, okay, there was a point. I'm like, all right, this is going on very long, and it's really good. WWE, please, I beg you, don't have the MFTs come out here and fudge it all up for everybody. Luckily, we only got Solo coming out to just kind of distract Sammy up at the ramp,
Yeah.
and then they attacked after the match. So I was at least kind of fine with that because, like, the distraction itself, like, Sammy was still able to hit a move on Ilya Dragunov after that distraction, but it was at least distraction enough to where Ilya could just shake that off and go out for the win. But yeah, after the match, MFTs come out and they just like absolutely destroy
Yeah.
Sammy and Ilya Dragunov. Like, and I said this in our Discord chat too, which, you know, if you guys want to join the Discord, talk to us about these shows. We're usually in there like giving our raw reactions to it. You know, links in the description below for that. But I was in there just being like, okay, this is how the MFTs should have been booked like maybe a year or so ago. Like, yeah, we kind of got that and everything, but like there was something about the energy of those four guys going out to that ring and just absolutely demolishing everybody. Even Ray Phoenix, who, you know, got embarrassed earlier in the night from Solo, tried to come out for the save, and it did nothing for all that. But at least the Wyatts are here to continue their push towards this tag team match we might be getting for the tag titles. But I did see some people saying, hey, this could be maybe the War Games match. Maybe it's more of like a mid card War Games match rather than like a main event War Games match. I don't know. That could be a thing
I
too.
did see that
But
floating around.
yeah. But Drop, what do you think of like the MFTs involved? Because like we're intertwining a lot of different stories here when it comes to like this US title circle and all that. Because like we have the MFTs involved mainly with Solo. We have them involved with the Wyatts. We have, you know, Sami Zayn being involved with Solo. And I mean Ilya Dragunov's getting caught in the crosshairs, and so is, you know, Ray Phoenix and all that. So what do you think of the MFTs like involvement, I guess, throughout the night when it came to like during the match, after the match, before the night when Solo embarrassed Ray Phoenix, just trying to take some pictures and all that. Like, let the man take some pictures. But go ahead, lay it on us.
So I felt like what happened made sense because they did tease this whole thing with Solo Sikoa and the MFTs last week, like when they
Mhm.
came out and everything, pretty much trying to send a message saying, yeah, you know, this is our agenda. And so obviously we were going to get something like that, pushing the needle a little bit more when it comes to what's going on with them. And I'm glad it was, like you said, just Solo Sikoa coming out for that little distraction, because I would hate for such a great match to be interrupted with people just beating on each other, which again,
Mhm.
that makes me look at that report coming out where they're actually taking the creative seriously, because regular WWE would have a great match and they just have it get ruined because people get beat up, and then that's their way of not having the holder lose the title and everything, and to progress whatever story's
Mhm.
going on over there. Like, we don't need the constant beatdowns every single time. When it calls for it, it calls for it. But you don't. It doesn't need to be a regular thing every single time. So I'm glad it ended the way it did, and then we got the beatdown afterwards. I thought that made sense because that is their target right now. And then obviously
Mhm.
having the Wyatts come out and look at the MFTs. I feel like that feud has a lot of potential because there's things that the Wyatts can take from the MFTs when it comes to their past history, which is a common trend with them. They target people because they don't align with their vision and how they view things, and they look at some things that they do to be evil. And there's a lot of things that the MFTs has done that were pretty evil when it comes to the kind of people
Mhm.
that they truly are inside. So I was okay with how things are structured. I'm not sure if they're thinking twice about doing that to Ilya Dragunov. They're just kind of gonna have to figure that out next figure that out next week.
Yeah.
But I can easily see this being a tag match that we do see next week where it's like a 3-on-3. I can easily see that
Yeah.
because you could have, Dragunov, Sammy, and Phoenix versus, whatever Nick Aldis wants to do with like the other three and everything. So that gets me excited. And plus a team with Dragunov, Sammy, and Phoenix. I mean, that's pretty crazy to even think about too. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, just I mean, even just like the singles matches with them would be crazy.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, them teaming together, oh boy. Oh, that's just in for a good time. And especially like because I could see the other side being like JC and the two Tamas, or yeah, Tongas. Yeah. Tonga. Yeah. It could be like those two with JC Mateo because they don't really put Hikaleo like in matches much right now, which kind of sucks to say, but
Yeah.
fine, whatever. But what are your thoughts on like the rumblings of people saying, "Oh, this should be the War Games match with like the MFTs taking on the Wyatts?" Because like, yeah, yeah, the War Games is usually saved for like the main event scene, but I mean, hell, if they cook enough between now and Survivor Series, there's an argument that could be made. I don't know, and especially with like the whole audible that they have to pull anyways with Seth
Yeah.
and the Vision and all that. Like, how are they going to have them be involved with War Games? Like, where's the path going to go there if that's the case? But yeah, what are your thoughts on this possibly being a War Games match?
Honestly, I wouldn't. If it were to happen, you give it some time to marinate because there is some time from
Mhm.
here to Survivor Series. I can definitely see it because you already have some players here. You got the MFTs, and then you already have Ilya Dragunov, which I would love to see in a War Games match. I can only imagine the kind of crazy shit he would do there. That's the perfect environment for him. Just like if Gunther would ever to be a part of a match like that, that's the perfect environment for him. And then you got Sammy and Ray Phoenix and all of that. Um, yeah, I wouldn't be against that. Maybe you could even have like I don't know, maybe some of the Wyatts or I can't really think of the other members right now, but
Mhm.
I can see something like that. It's definitely a possibility if they do want to head down there for sure. Because obviously with Seth being gone, there's going to be a lot of things moving around on the drawing board because I'm pretty sure Seth and his group was supposed to be a part of that War Games match this year if he wasn't injured with this shoulder thing. Have that whole angle get pulled on Monday with Braun Breaker taking him out because they made that pretty apparent when
Mhm.
when the web not the website when the what was I gonna say when the show started, they brought that up.
Oh yeah.
So obviously
Yep,
it's gonna
yep,
tie
they
to
brought it
something.
up. They brought it up multiple times in the night. Like they showed a couple flashbacks from it and all that, like some recaps and everything. Cody mentioned it. Commentary mentioned it a couple times too, I think throughout the night. Yeah, they're really playing upon what happened Monday night and really rolling with it,
Yeah.
which I mean, fine. It was a big angle that happened, so and they know people are going to be asking questions like, well, What's next? Where do we go? Oh man. But yeah, I mean, yeah, this could easily be a War Games match. But again, like Drop said, gonna have to see how they cook it, whether it's gonna be a slow cooker or they're gonna, kind of speed it up a little bit by putting it in the oven. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. But of course, our last match that we're gonna talk about tonight, um, kind of very similar to the other tag match we had tonight. Motor City Machine Guns took on Los Garza because so the setup with this is, hey, Motor City Machine Guns are celebrating 1 year being with the WWE, and Los Garza just come in. They kind of make fun of Motor City Machine Guns, and Motor City Machine Guns are just like, hey, we did beat you guys a year ago. Why not make it an annual tradition? So they had a match. I thought it was a good match overall. Just I feel like this was just a match just to have one on the show, if I'm being honest. But it was still good, all things considered, with Motor City Machine Guns picking up the win. Hard to believe it's already been a year, and I mean they won the tag titles once. That was about it. Like, I wish I could say more with them being on the main roster for a
Yeah.
whole year, but really, I mean, just
As of
see all of our complaints that we've had about tag team wrestling in WWE, and there you go.
Yeah, that's the thing because it's like they were really hyped up like when they came in and they actually did do pretty good like that first month where they won the
Hmm.
tag titles like pretty quick within like 2 to 3 weeks because they ended up taking them off of the bloodline, but it's like ever since then and then ever since they had that feud with DIY, I mean, they haven't really felt special ever since. And
Hmm.
that's a shame because they're considered one of the best tag teams out there that had a very good run in TNA. So you would expect somebody like them to actually be higher on the chart when it comes to a lot of these tag matches, but unfortunately, we didn't really see anything with that with them. So like when I see a match like this with the Motor City Machine Guns take on Los Garza, like sure, they interrupted them in the interview and they because they were trying to celebrate and then they had this match. I mean, there's not much I could really say. Like you got to give me
Yeah.
more here. You can't just be like, "Oh, we're going to have an interview and then we're going to have a match because you interrupted me." It's like it's hard for me to really get behind people that aren't really on television. I can't even recall the last time I really saw these guys. And
Yeah.
the way that Los Garza is booked, which hopefully things are heading down the right direction, try to sort things out like this because they're both great tag teams. You just got to give them more to work with, and then we'd have no Street Profits on here as well tonight. Maybe they're trying to sell the
Mhm.
loss or whatever, but it's like that they also need to figure out exactly like what's going on here because
Yeah.
obviously the Wyatt's focus shifted to the MFTs. So whatever tag titles get involved, obviously will probably fall under them because they're currently feuding. So you gotta figure out what you're gonna do with the rest of the guys. I'm really hoping it's not
Mhm.
just match after match or the same matches that we've seen before. Like there's always times where you can be creative behind the scenes when it comes to things outside of a title being involved, and I feel like that's something that they really need to work out here. Like I
Yeah.
didn't really get much out of this either.
Yeah. And I mean, even the segment afterwards with Fraxium, that is, they were
Yeah.
watching the match going on and they're kind of wanting to make waves and all that. DIY come in. So, like, teams are at least interacting with each other. It's just like there's not much substance beyond that. So, it's just like one of those things where it's just like, on one hand, I appreciate you guys, at least compared to Raw, actually using your tag teams on TV and actually like trying to do something. Like, again, I'm always somebody that can applaud somebody trying at least. But then on the other hand, it's just like you could be doing better. It could be better, and it should be better, but you're just choosing not to be better. But again, that's nothing to say about match quality itself. Match quality was good. It's just, we want a little bit more character. We want a little bit more like substance when it comes to like either a match or a possible feud going on, which, there's a little bit going on at least. And it's a hell of a lot more than what they're doing with Raw. That's pretty much all I can say about that at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, with that, I mean, I guess we could just go right into our quickfire segments here. So, like, one of them involves Tiffany Stratton, who's um in the back of the arena and all that, giving an interview and kind of reflecting on her loss, but she doesn't have enough time for that because out comes Kiana James to just kind of make fun of her too and be like, "Hey, this is why I chose Julia instead of you, because Julia can actually do stuff." And it's just like, "Okay, well, why don't you do something?" Cuz yeah, Tiffany just kind of throws some barbs back at Kiana James. Cool, neat, awesome. I guess we're doing a program between Tiffany and Julia, which, oh, okay. I mean, why have the US title at that point? But you know, I don't know. Sometimes WWE's logic is just out there. Fine. Okay. And an Aleister Black promo happened with Zelina Vega. Unfortunately, I really didn't get to watch it. I had to take care of something at the time. So I don't really have much comments on that because I didn't really hear what the promo said. So I'll probably just defer to Drop on that part. But Drop, what do you think of these quickfire segments? Any
Yeah.
comments or thoughts about everything?
So I can't really help much with the promo either.
No.
So I don't really know what happened. All I say, it's good to see them together. I feel like
Hmm.
they should work together. I'm glad they're. I'll try to look it up online, and we can probably follow up with
Yeah.
it next week or so. But it's just good to see both of
Hmm.
them together. They should work together. Zelina needs to do a little bit of something else outside of what she was doing before. So that's a plus in that department still. When
Yeah.
it comes to Tiffany Stratton and everything, I mean, this is another thing where I'm like, okay, what's going on with Tiffany moving forward? There's a part of me thinking that Nia was going to come out again. Thankfully, that didn't happen.
Hmm.
And we have her and Kiana having a little moment backstage, and they're going to have a match next week. I highly doubt it's going to be super long or anything. I don't know if we're going to really have that much to really talk about it when it comes to next week's show. I feel like that's something I
Yeah.
feel pretty confident in when it comes to our discussion for next week when it revolves Tiffany Stratton. Not saying anything bad about her, but it's like that's your world champion on SmackDown, like the SmackDown Women's Champion. It's like, what are you doing with her? Like you're involving her with somebody that already has a title. Look, Kiana, like what are we doing here? We're trying to set up a
Yeah.
feud between Julia and Tiffany. That would be fine if Julia didn't have a title. I mean, Julia needs to focus on what she's currently doing right now.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Well, like
who
that.
else is going to come into the picture to really start shaping things up? And you can't throw Jade and Nia in there again because we've seen it numerous times. And again, that this is another point where either somebody is coming back soon that I'm not aware of, or they start bringing up some more names from NXT.
Yeah. Yeah, like that's just the thing. Like, and this is for both titles too. It's just the pool for SmackDown when it comes to like their women's titles is very
Yeah,
small. Like they really need to do something to just boost their numbers or something. I mean, we keep saying, "Oh yeah, do like a draft or like move people around and all that." And like what Drop just said, move some people from NXT up. I mean, honestly, like with the stuff going on between Zelina, Alistair, and Damien, bring up Lola Vice because I think her and Damien are kind of a thing. I think, or at least they're friends. They're at least friends. They're at least good friends. So it's just like, okay, there's somebody that Damien can kind of bring up with him to deal with like the Zelina problem, and it would give Lola a chance to be on the main roster and maybe boost the numbers right there. Maybe she can do something too. I mean, at least be booked or like built for contendership. Because again, I don't want to bring up the the list of the female roster on SmackDown, but it's very bare bones when you have a roster like that and three different titles that need contenders without feeling like it's repetitive with who's facing who and all that. Um Yeah, the Tiffany match next week, I think, is going to be very quick when it comes to her versus Kiana James. So yeah, well, we'll see. Yeah, it's just weird how Tiffany is this year because like ever since it's been ever since that Charlotte feud, like ever since shit went down with that, Tiffany has not been hitting too hard on the main roster as the women's champion. Like at least
No,
for me, like
I
there have
agree.
been moments here and there, but yeah, it's just really weird how she is in the company right now.
I agree completely. You
Yeah,
just ever since that Charlotte feud, I mean, what's really been up on the table? A match with
yeah,
Tiffany Stratton, numerous matches with Nia Jax, and then Jade Cargill at like SummerSlam and whatever. I mean,
yeah.
really wasn't much going on there for her.
No, there really wasn't. So it just kind of sucks, you know. But you know what doesn't suck? Well, I guess what kind of sucks because at this point we pretty much reached the end of the episode. So we're gonna go ahead, kind of give our final thoughts on the show and everything. So you know, if you made it to this part of it, chat and everybody watching at home with the VOD and all that, go ahead and let us know your final thoughts on SmackDown and everything. For me, again, like I said earlier, I thought this was a very strong SmackDown. I thought it was paced very well with
Yeah.
the matches that we got, the promo work that we got, the backstage segments that we got. Thought it was all paced very well tonight. Having the return of Ilya Dragunov just sends me personally because man, that man is brilliant in that ring. Sucks that Jacob Fatu is going to be gone because again, copy and paste what I just said about Ilya. Love the dude. Just get well soon, hopefully. So, yeah, and we'll see what happens with this whole Drew Cody thing. If it's at Survivor Series, yeah, let him cook for a bit. Let him make a really good, intriguing story going into Survivor Series and all that. Um, and then yeah, the women's title scene is what it is. Especially when it comes to Tiffany. I mean, sucks with her and Julia barely on screen or barely doing anything on screen. Same with freaking Alexa and Charlotte, but I mean I don't know, just kind of par for the course when it comes to SmackDown's women division, I guess. But drop what you think of SmackDown overall tonight.
So when it comes to my thoughts on SmackDown tonight, I am very happy with what's going on with Cody and Drew so far. So that's a really good start to their feud. Hopefully, with what me and Watkins talked about with our conversation earlier, hopefully that takes part into the build to this, because that would be really nice if things do head down that direction. Glad Ilya Dragunov is back. He looks fantastic. So it feels really good to see him on TV again. And congratulations to him for becoming the new U.S. champion. And other than that, though, I mean, that's it, really. I mean, didn't get much out of the tag matches tonight, so maybe that's something that they could focus on in the near future when it comes to the
Yeah.
progression of the tag titles. But other than that, those are my thoughts on SmackDown tonight.
Perfect. Well, again, chat, viewers at home, that's the end of the show. That's it. That's everything. That's all we got for this SmackDown. I mean, sure, things might come in the future when we start thinking more deeply about certain moments here and there. But hey, this show is based off of mainly our raw reactions, our straight from after the show reactions. So hey, you're hearing just what comes into our minds. Sometimes it's what we've thought about before the show. Sometimes we've processed it during the show and thought, hey, this is a different concept right here. Either way, we're always going to be talking about any certain moments or any like predictions or pitches that we might have for the wrestling sphere and all that. Either way, we're always going to at least bring out ideas and talk about them and see if we can bounce off each other to see maybe we can create a product that's not based on AI. It's just our own imaginations. Hopefully that report is also still untrue, which again, if it is untrue, that means this was a night that we actually had good writing. And if it was, well, then I'm going to have to question my whole life. But that's besides the point, ladies and gentlemen. Plugs this time because hey, we're social people. We love to talk about things not only just wrestling based but everything like outside of wrestling. And the best way you can kind of be social with us is through the social medias, things like Twitter, things like Instagram, things like Blue Sky is still a thing. I know that's still a thing. Things like YouTube, for example, that's kind of a social media in a way, because you're commenting with everybody, you're engaging with your fans or your peers and all that stuff through content and all that. But hey, you want to find me, Drop, Vash, the rest of the team, all the links are down in the description below. You see all the handles on the TV screen or the computer screen, iPad screen, wherever you're watching us. You see them right there in the yellow. You got at AniMa W3 Studio, that is the parent company of Weebs of the Ring, which is also the at for Weebs of the Ring. Weebs of the Ring. We got Legendy Vash, who unfortunately got pulled from The Rock again. Like, man, the Rock is working on a huge movie that he needs Vash's help on, and he couldn't call Bill Goldberg, so hey, got to use Vash for all that. You got at Drop This Box, where you can find him talking about many different things, from anime, manga to cartoons, wrestling here, horror movies, all that stuff. Go check out his stuff. And of course, check out my social medias, where I just talk about whatever the hell I want and maybe bitch and moan about whatever the hell I want. Either way, follow us on all of those. And yeah, with that being said, thank you for taking time out of your day to listen to the Weebs of the Ring podcast. Again, if you enjoyed what we had to say about anything regarding the show tonight, be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, because again, every single like means our pets get treats, and our pets will become fat and not be able to run as quick as they used to, because they ate so many treats. And that's because of you lovely people giving them all the lovely treats that they just so much and enjoy in their lives. But hey, do all that wonderful stuff for us, because hey, it's a great way to kind of give us feedback besides talking to us on social media, using the hashtag Weebs of the Ring to engage with us in conversations, whether it be wrestling, whether it be anime, manga, all this stuff. Use that hashtag, be part of the conversation, and give us that feedback and say we're nothing without you guys tuning in, and we're going to continue to level up our game each and every time we go live on this platform. Weebs of the Ring is presented by AniMa W3 Studio. Thanks, of course, to our production team for all of their hard work to make this show a reality. Thank you once again for joining us. And remember, as always, no stunt grannies were harmed in the recording of this podcast. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll see you on Monday for the Monday Night Raw.
See you guys on Monday and have a great weekend.